killing everybody.
You're gonna celebrate
Finals
when
are
you
worth
drop
more than
below
TV.
2 million.
Anyway, so what I was gonna say before is I met my I worked with this guy like 10 years ago in the Air Force, and then I met him for the first time in 10 years yesterday. And one of the first things he says to me is like, "So, what's with the pedophile thing?" And I'm like, "Wow, it's so toxically contagious that even you think that there's potential for me to be this person." So I explained the full thing, and then he's like, "Well, how do you fix all that damage?" And I'm like, "Well, people used to think I was a number of other things. Like way back in the day, people used to call me a rapist, and they also used to call me an animal abuser." And they also used to call me a spouse beater. You know, it's like a lot of things that, you know, didn't happen, people would say
They still
happened.
call you a spouse beater, though.
They can still
See,
call you
where's
all
where's
these
the
things. These
okay,
things haven't
okay, you
been
can call someone a spouse beater, but it's good if you actually have the slightest bit of evidence that they ever lifted their hand against anybody, you know, like in that position. So
Well, they're using the evidence of like Laney flinching and everybody owing.
but that's not
hand, so it was only
evidence.
fucking
Laney
one
has
video.
high anxiety. Laney flinches at a lot of things. Like for instance, when
Well, I'm not saying
Yeah,
when
the
when
whole
Sarah
flinching thing is a load of bullshit.
when Sarah was here, she would jump every single time because I walk really quietly. So she'd always jump whenever she didn't notice I was there, and she often did not notice I was there. It was actually annoying. I would tell her how annoying it was because she'd always go, "Oh my God, I didn't see you." I'm like, "Oh my God, stop doing this to me." Okay, I walk around my house, expect it. You know, like this is ridiculous, Sarah. Anyway, so that's what Sarah would do, and Laney flinches when anybody does anything. Like, in Laney's recent video, Laney did something. Laney said she reacted in a certain way to something, and I said, "When have I ever done that?" She said, "Never." And it's always like, well, there you go. You know, you're reacting to something that I've never done, so how does it make sense to react that way? Some people just react to things when it's completely illogical, kind of like being afraid of ghosts or being afraid of the dark.
I think it really depends on past happenings versus, you know.
No,
like,
as far as I know,
everybody-
nobody's ever hit Laney except someone who used to watch over her, dragged Laney across the floor one time, and that was because Laney was trying to leave their house.
Right.
Yeah, that was
I
messed
can
up.
attest to just like having anxiety though and jumping.
Like,
for
I
no
suffer
reason.
from PTSD, so I kind of get the whole fucking.
Just
Well, I was just
the
unsubscribed
flinching
from Laney's channel.
thing is a huge joke. That's something. Okay, if you saw a picture of someone being a black eye or something like that, pair that up with the flinching. You know, don't use that as your sole argument. Get more evidence before, because there are many reasons why someone would flinch, especially someone with an anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Having real evidence is hard, Greg.
But
Yeah, I like to
that's the
just
thing. That's the thing that
statements.
kind of sucks is people don't need, you know, any credibility to report on stuff these days. They can just say something, and then if it sounds
No
right to the
evidence,
people,
and all of a sudden
If
you're
it gets
fucking-
enough retweets, it's true.
yeah. Well, it's also like this pedophile thing. It's like, how many times do I have to show you the picture of the 12-year-old who's clothed enough to go to the YMCA and work on the gym machines or whatever, because that's what it looks like they're about to do. How many times I got to show you that before you go, "Oh, he's not a pedophile," and then you
have
actually
no
confront
idea.
you
How many
confront
messages-
haters, and they're like, "Okay, well, you're not a pedo." But that's the end of the argument. You just said I'm not what you've been saying I am forever. That's where it ends. But people keep on going, "Greg, you're a pedo." And
Can
it's
I
like,
just say, like, what happened with Jacqueline Glynn and the whole boob job thing?
what are you talking about? That was open and closed.